The episode begins with Homer stacking multiple pizza boxes, even making drawings with them. The boxes travel throughout the nuclear plant until all the slices land perfectly in the employees' mouths. Because of this, Mr. Burns lets everyone leave work early. Excited, Homer calls Moe, saying he wasn't going to go to Moe's tavern because he wanted to spend time with Marge. However, he discovers that Patty and Selma are at home because they're hosting an awards event for their work. Homer didn't want to go, but was forced to attend. The event was so boring for him that time seemed to pass slowly. By the way, Lisa was also there to interview people. Stressed out, Homer decides to eat a lot of greasy food and goes to Krusty Burger to order a ton of fries, but finds out that the chain has now replaced unhealthy foods with healthier options, which makes him freak out. Other fast food chains had also adopted the same approach, leaving Homer even more frustrated. However, he finds a hot dog stand that served a really greasy hot dog and spends the entire night eating there. When he gets home, the whole family is waiting for him, extremely worried. Grandpa Simpson arrives and explains that Homer used to frequent that stand when he was a child because his parents would go to therapy on Wednesdays and leave him there waiting. The stand's owner would give him free food, which led to his junk food addiction. Homer realizes that he has been using food to cope with his problems, just like he did with alcohol. In the end, Patty and Selma are fired and end up moving in with the Simpsons. Homer then goes back to the stand and asks the owner if he remembers him from childhood, but the man, now very old, barely remembers anything. Meanwhile, at school, Lisa and the journalism club are struggling, as even the Bullies podcast was more popular. At the nuclear plant, Homer gets scolded by Mr. Burns and once again takes out his frustration on food. Krusty also ends up at the stand to eat his feelings, because Krusty Burger was losing customers due to the new healthy food options. As time passes, Homer grows closer to the stand's owner. Back to Lisa's story, she begins interviewing the bullies in detention because she wanted to write a piece on bullying, but the journalism funding runs out and Lisa loses her club. Seeing his daughter's sadness, Homer decides to take her to the hot dog stand, but it was closed. The owner had sold the business to Krusty to retire, and now the stand was part of the Krusty Burger franchise, which Homer didn't want. So, he decides to steal the stand. During the getaway, Lisa starts to get scared while Marge and Bart watch everything on TV, which was short on stories, so Kent Brockman does a react segment on the scene. In the middle of the chaos, Lisa asks for a microphone to tell everyone watching about Homer's noble cause. Several chubby people decide to help Homer, and when the fuel runs out, they all push the stand uphill on a noble mission. At the end of the journey, the police were already waiting for them along with Krusty. Homer decides to charge at him, but ends up hanging from a bridge. The stand's owner appears to save Homer, saying that he finally remembered him and considered him like a son. With everything resolved, Homer is treated as a hero by the public, and Chief Wiggum pardons the various crimes he committed. To watch the full episode, it's Season 28, Episode 13.